Man, some of these NBA games lately have been wild, like really intense,
Yeah.
just edge of your seat stuff. Every possession feels like it could swing the whole game.
Right. The energy's been so high.
These teams are fighting for every
They
inch.
are. It's playoff push time. So, yeah, everyone's giving it their all.
Exactly. So much on the line. And it's making for some seriously thrilling basketball.
Absolutely. You don't know who's going to win till the final buzzer these days.
That unpredictability, that's what we're diving into
Oh,
today.
yeah, breaking down some of these incredible recent matchups.
We've got this in-depth report here covering some key games with tons of analysis, and we're going to pull out the most exciting stuff.
Yep, the real highlights for you. The stuff that matters most, those pivotal moments, and what they tell us about these teams.
You're not going to have to wade through all the stats and play-by-plays. We're bringing you the good stuff.
Exactly, the juicy insights, the strategic decisions that made the difference.
So let's jump right in, all right? First up, let's talk Lakers and Rockets.
Oh, yeah, that was a close one.
Lakers pulled out the win 104-98. But what jumps out from the report is the context here.
Right.
The Rockets were on a tear. They had won 12 of their last 13 games coming into this one.
Huge momentum.
So for the Lakers to snatch a victory against that kind of streak, that's got to mean something.
Oh, it definitely does. It's a statement win for sure.
Right.
If you look closer, though, the report highlights Austin Reaves' performance. Man, he was incredible.
How good was he?
Dropped 31 points, had 8 assists, but it wasn't just the number.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say there's always more to it than this.
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
the timing of it. The report calls it clutch performances, like he was stepping up when the pressure was highest.
Against a team that was red hot.
Yeah, think about that. They're rolling, and he's the one hitting those big shots.
So you're saying Reeves was the difference maker in those critical moments?
For sure. Now, the Rockets weren't slacking either.
Oh, no, they put up a fight.
Jalen Green had 33 points.
Wow. So they were right there with the Lakers on offense. So what's the biggest takeaway for you from this Lakers-Rockets game? What really stood out?
It's how the report frames the Lakers' win. They call it a display of resilience and strategic prowess.
Okay, so not just outscoring the Rockets, but outsmarting them too.
Right. They were strong defensively, and you mentioned it before, they were able to perform under pressure.
And the report actually hints at some specific defensive schemes they used in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, to disrupt the Rockets shooters, that kind of tactical execution under pressure, that's huge.
It shows what a team is really made of, right?
Absolutely. It's a sign of their potential.
Okay, let's move on to another game that had everyone glued to their seats, according to the report. Nets versus the Mavericks.
Oh, man, that was a good one.
Nets edged them out 113-109. What were the key things you saw in this one?
Well, for you to get the Nets victory, it's all about their tenacity.
Okay, how so?
Keyshawn Johnson, he was their leading scorer with 24 points.
Solid.
Yeah, provided a real offensive spark. And then D'Angelo Russell, he had a really well-rounded game.
What did he put up?
18 points and 11 assists. So a double-double there.
Nice. That always shows a player's making an impact in multiple ways.
Right. And the report actually points out a huge momentum swing.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
The Nets, they pulled off a remarkable comeback in this one.
How far behind were they?
They were down 10 points in the fourth quarter.
That's a lot to overcome in the NBA.
It is, but they answered with a 12-0 run.
Wow, completely flipped the script.
Exactly, and that's what the report highlights, their ability to rally in critical moments.
That never give up attitude, it can completely change a game.
Absolutely.
And this win wasn't just any win for the Nets, right?
Yeah.
There's some added significance here.
Yeah, if you look at the bigger picture for them, this was their first set of back-to-back wins since the All-Star break.
So for a team trying to build consistency heading into the playoffs,
Yeah, that's big for their morale and confidence for sure.
something to keep an eye on as they move forward.
Definitely.
All right, let's switch gears here and look at a game that was less of a nail-biter and more of just a dominant performance by one team.
Oh, which one are we talking about?
The Thunder versus the Bulls.
Oh, wow.
Thunder took it 145-117, what fueled that kind of offensive explosion.
Okay, so the star of this show for you was Isaiah Joe coming off the bench for the Thunder.
Coming off the bench.
Yeah, and he had himself a nightman.
What'd he do?
Scored 31 points, including 8 three-pointers.
8 threes.
That's right.
That's insane off the bench.
The report calls it explosive scoring, and they're not wrong. He was a game changer, for sure.
I mean, imagine being on the other side of that. A guy comes in and just starts raiding threes.
It's demoralizing.
You got to take the wind out of your sails.
Totally. And it wasn't just Joe. The whole Thunder team was on fire offensively.
Yeah, the report mentioned that they put up some crazy numbers.
They did. They scored 85 points in just the second and third quarters.
85 points in 2 quarters. That's wild.
It shows you the power of their offense and their ability to maintain that scoring pace.
That consistency is what makes a team dangerous, right?
For sure. And this wasn't just a one-off for the Thunder either.
There's a larger trend here, isn't there?
There is. This win was their 10th in a row.
10 straight wins.
That's right. They're not just a team with potential anymore. They're consistently delivering.
That's what separates the contenders from the pretenders.
Exactly. And they're looking like real contenders now.
All right. Speaking of contenders, let's talk Celtics. They faced off against the Grizzlies and kept their strong season rolling with a 117-103 win.
Another impressive performance from them.
So what were the keys to their victory this time?
Well, the Celtics continue to show why they're considered one of the best teams in the league.
Right.
Jason Tatum, he had another big game, 25 points, 14 rebounds, so another double-double there.
He's been doing that a lot lately.
He has. And Kristaps Porzingis, he added a solid 19 points.
So it was a good spread of scoring.
Yeah, and the report really highlights their balanced attack and solid defense as the deciding factors in this one.
They can score in multiple ways, and they can shut you down on the other end.
Yeah, that's a tough combination to beat.
Now, the Grizzlies did have some decent individual performances in this one, didn't they?
They did. Ja Morant, he put up 26 points.
Okay, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
He had 20 points and 15 rebounds, but like the report points out, they just couldn't close the gap in the final minutes.
So the Celtics were able to execute when it mattered most.
Right, that composure and crunch time is so crucial.
And this Celtics win was more than just another win.
Oh, yeah, this one was historic. It was their 9th straight victory.
Okay, impressive, but not unheard of.
Right, but what makes it special is that it completed their first ever 6L road trip.
In franchise history.
Wow.
That's got to be tough to do.
It is winning every game on a long road trip. Like that, it speaks volumes about their focus and adaptability.
So for you, what's the main takeaway from that?
Their ability to perform consistently on the road, that's a huge asset for any team with championship aspirations.
Absolutely. All right, let's wrap things up with a game that the report describes as a real grind.
Okay, which one was that?
The Clippers versus the Magic.
Oh, yeah, that one was a defensive battle for sure.
Clippers pulled out the win, 96-87, but it was a low-scoring affair compared to some of these others.
Totally. The report calls it a playoff-like defensive battle, and the score definitely reflects that.
So who stepped up for the Clippers in this one?
Well, Kawhi Leonard, he led them in scoring with 21 points.
Solid and Harden?
James Harden had 20 points, and then Ivica Zubac, he dominated the boards.
What kind of numbers did he put up?
18 points and 20 rebounds.
Plenty rebounds.
Yeah, another double-double for you to note.
That's crazy he was cleaning up down there.
He was, and the report also mentioned a lot of back and forth in this one.
Oh, yeah. How many lead changes?
There were 15 lead changes throughout the game.
Wow. So neither team could really pull away.
Right. It shows you how intense the defensive play was on both sides.
No easy buckets in this one.
Nope. Every possession was a battle.
So what's the key takeaway for you from this kind of hard-fought win for the Clippers?
What stands out is their ability to grind out wins in tough, low-scoring games.
It wasn't pretty, but they got it done.
Exactly. This wasn't about offensive fireworks. It was about strategic gameplay and consistent scoring in those key moments.
So they can win in different ways, high-scoring shootouts or these defensive battles.
Right. That versatility makes them a very dangerous opponent.
Okay, so looking back at all these games, we've seen a wide range of basketball, haven't we?
We have, from those high-octane offenses to these really tight defensive contests.
It's been amazing to see the different paths to victory.
And that's what's so insightful for you. You can really see how the different teams are approaching the game.
We've seen some incredible individual talent. We've seen coaching decisions make a huge difference. And we've seen teams that just refuse to quit.
Right. It's all there.
And for you, our listener, who wanted to catch up on all the action and get the key takeaways, these games offer some real valuable insights into the current state of the league.
Absolutely. Let's do a quick recap of what we learned.
Oh, what stood out to you?
Well, with the Lakers, it was their defensive strength and Austin Reaves' clutch play.
He really stepped up.
He did. And then the Nets showed us their ability to come back and their offensive firepower led by Johnson and Russell.
That comeback was impressive.
It was. And then you've got the Thunder with their dominant offense and the impact of their bench, especially Isaiah Joe.
8 threes off the bench. That's hard to top.
It is. And then the Celtics, they showcased their balance and their historic road trip, led by Tatum and Porzingis.
And they just keep winning.
They do. And then finally, the Clippers showed us they can win those gritty defensive battles with big contributions from Leonard Harden and Zubac.
all while playing tough defense.
Yeah, they're a well-rounded team.
So it's clear that these games are more than just entertainment. They provide valuable lessons in teamwork strategy and individual excellence.
Right, and those lessons, they apply even if you're not a basketball fan.
Exactly. These are things we can all learn from.
And these insights aren't just for us as observers. The teams themselves, they can learn from these games too.
Oh yeah, they're constantly analyzing and adjusting.
Right. Every game is a chance to refine their tactics and improve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the recent NBA action, it's obvious that these games were about so much more than just the final score.
Right.
They were glimpses into the inner workings of these teams, the brilliance of these players, and the constant pursuit of excellence in one of the most competitive leagues in the world.
And you should now have a much deeper understanding of the key moments and what they mean for these teams going forward.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this breakdown as much as we have.
Definitely. And this leads to an interesting question for you to ponder.
With that,
Think about the different winning strategies we saw on display, whether it was the Lakers and Clippers' tough defense, the Thunder's explosive offense, or the Knicks' resilience.
all different paths to victory.
Exactly. So which one do you find most compelling or most sustainable in the long run?
That's a good one.
And even beyond basketball, think about other areas of your life where competition exists.
Work-school relationships.
Right. What lessons can we take from these different approaches and apply to our own lives?
That's something for you, our listener, to think about.
Food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the NBA. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.